Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for the time. Here, our group will present our material on climate technology. But first I will introduce our group members. I am Nilu Putri Cahyani and my friends.
My name is Galuh Saraswati.
Next, for the material that will discussion about climate technology, namely that first one, this is what we need to fight climate change. 2. How to think about investing in the next generation of clean energy. 3. Is shedding the earth too risky?
Now I will explain about point number 1. 1. This is what we need to invent to fight climate change. The world has many of the tools needed to keep climate change in check. The United Nations Climate Research Team reported last month. But humanity will still need to invent newer and better ones too. In the final installment of its latest comprehensive assessment of climate science, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change examined tactics to mitigate climate change. Highlights how wind energy, solar power, and battery technologies that emit little to no greenhouse gases have made massive strides in performance and cost. These developments have increased the economic attractiveness of low-emission energy sector transition through 2030, according to the report. However, fossil fuels still fulfill about 80% of the world energy needs. Global greenhouse gases emissions appear to have been holding fairly steady for a decade now, but to keep the world from warming up more than 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit this century, those emissions have to fall by half from their current level by 2030. The price of solar electricity has dropped 89% since 2010, and silicon solar panels have increased in efficiency from 15% to more than 26% over the last 40 years. Onshore wind energy costs have fallen 70% in the last decade. Lithium-ion batteries have declined in price by 97% over the last 3 decades, while their energy density has nearly tripled in 10 years.
Second material, how to think about investing in the next generation of clean energy. For residential solar power, upward of 70% of their price tag is due to soft costs. Things like permitting, inspection, installation, and financing rather than the cost of the hardware itself. Solar could still get much cheaper, with costs falling another 50% by 2050 according to some estimates, but it will require counting throughout this decade. The IPCC report noted that the 18 countries that have science emissions cut for more than a decade did so by doing more with less. Predictions were linked to energy supply recarbonization, energy efficiency gains, and energy demand reduction, with results from both policy and change in economic structure. According to the report, according to the Natural Resources Definition Council, enhancing residential energy efficiency is the single largest carbon index, reducing inefficiency in the earth. As for land energy technology that are still in infancy, 3R, several create to consider, said Erin Barker, Faculty Director of the Energy Transition Institute at the University of Massachusetts Chase Amherst. 3 are some specific clean energy needs. Talk that need Victor baking right away. Naily tools for storing, dispatching, and maintaining the quality of electricity on the power grid. On K are where the world needs to invest more is in carbon dioxide removal. CDR, where carbon dioxide is drawn directly out of the atmosphere. Talk 3 are first, it might create a moral hate. In sectors like aviation, shipping, and heavy industry, emissions may never drop to zero. So meeting international climate targets will be a way to reduce greenhouse emissions. 3 are several companies working on CDR technology now, but it remains expensive and energy intensive. The components launching from there, which they describe as an advanced market commitment, falling almost millions $1 to guarantee processes of permanent carbon dioxide removal. These kinds of commitments could become another way to accelerate the development of clean technologies, but conventional investments like subsidies and tax breaks remain critical too. Based on a detailed sectoral assessment of mitigation points, it is assessment that mitigation points costing $100 per ton of CO2 or less could reduce global GHG emissions by at least half of the 2019 level by 2030, according to the IPCC report. Climate change, however, imposes time constraints, so a search, development, and deployment strategy has to have multiple horizons. Ramping up wind and solar today while investing in technologies like nuclear, hydrogen, and CDR over the long term, and even making some long-shot bets on nuclear fusion energy and investigating geoengineering. And while better technology is necessary for mitigate climate change, it's not fusion when while those who produce the most greenhouse gas have the will to adapt to the unavoidable warming that's in store. So keeping the most dangerous climate change scenario off the table, the much more better batteries, solar panels, and business models. 3. Is shedding the earth too risky? Solar generating a radical response to global warming that can equally stop your temperature rise. Reducing peak temperature, which is very damaging, but is it too good to be true? Would be like living under 100-ton rock ready to fall at the moment. The debate has upheld toward decades whether this technology is a risk worth taking, like indigenous groups, like the same people who are at the forefront of climate change, and it's all Larson Bills job to define their way of life. Traditional livelihoods like reader heading have survived through industrialization and modern society development and land management and up to now. About the future of climate, it's not the future we are already facing it and facing it all seasons of the year, but the Sami I called is concerned about it. An area of scientific research made affecting climate change called Big Free onward countries worried about the impact of the controversial but potentially life-changing technology now is solar geoengineering. In 2021, a scientist from Harvard University researching solar geoengineering planned a flyer balance from the NERSC Space Center. David Cade is one of the candidates in charge of the Hardware project. He thinks the risk from solar geoengineering should be weighed against the possibility it could save millions of frost but essentially temperature noise. Several studies have suggested that actively applied solar geoengineering can provide climate benefits for all countries but without global cooperation.
Technologies designed to cool the climate and instead trigger international conflict, as solar geoengineering can disrupt rainfall patterns and increase drought. Some countries may miss out on what happens if you dim the sun by geoengineering and remove solar energy from the surface. Scientists like Raymond Pierre Humbert believe that technology aimed at fighting one global problem can create another by escalating disputes and sparking new disputes. What if Russia favors an ice-free North Pole and wants less solar geoengineering? But what if India works under killer heat waves so frequent that they really want to cool their climate? Anything that raises the level of international tension in a world where nuclear weapons are already proliferating will be a threat multiplier. Some also fear about being locked in solar geoengineering without a reverse gear. If humans fail to reduce emissions and rely on solar geoengineering alone, it could mean having to do it forever. In the worst case scenario, stopping it suddenly could bring about a catastrophic termination surprise. Some scientists who advocate research into solar geoengineering argue that termination shocks can be avoided by gradually reducing them over decades. But we think less globally and more locally about solar geoengineering often helps balance some of the risks associated with them. On Large Barrier Reefs, a group of scientists led by oceanographer Daniel Harrison doing just that. They are testing a kind of solar geoengineering called marine cloud brightening, which is the first to be attempted outside of the laboratory right now. Cloud brightening is one of the ideas that, if scaled up, we hope to have the potential to be deployed across reefs and can help all corals and all ecosystems use custom design turbines with 320 nozzles. They release a cloud of trillions of nano-sized seawater droplets over the ocean. If the droplets could reach the clouds above, in theory, they would make them more reactive. However, other proponents of solar geoengineering research argue that if cloud engagement is used more broadly, regional and unequal benefits could become a problem. My only concern is that this will be the sort of thin end of the wedge that enables geoengineering technologies that are inherently surveillance, patchy, and therefore unequal, since it's more likely, if used a scale, to actually make, for some arguments, the worst. It seems will intensify about the balance of risk and benefits of solar geoengineering, and whether and how it can be used fairly. When part of the scientific community praised the case for progress in any dispute area of science, it is completely legal for different civil society groups to raise objection.
That's all from our group presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.